Welcome to another episode of the Champion Chronicles, Cromwell High School's podcast highlighting elite student athletes from the home of the champions. Today's episode features Maya Tomczyk about her journey to All-State in cheerleading and our host, Aubrey Kulpa.
Welcome back to another episode of Champion Chronicles. Maya, welcome. Congrats on earning All-State.
Thank you.
Let's start by you introducing yourself and telling us a little bit how you got into cheerleading.
Okay, yeah. So I'm a junior at Cromwell High School, and I've been on the cheer team for all 3 years so far. And so I first joined the cheer team my freshman year because I did gymnastics all my life for I think around 9 or 10 years. Like when COVID, I kind of stopped and kind of slowed down with that. And so I was more interested in joining a high school team and doing something for a school team. So I was really interested in cheerleading because it's kind of a mix of gymnastics and dance. And so I knew I would like it. So I first started cheering in freshman year.
Okay, awesome. So you definitely come from a competitive background. Can you tell us about what All-State cheerleading means to you?
Yeah, so I remember my freshman year, the 3 girls that made it were Emily Sousa, Bridget Russ, and Madison Rose. And I remember they were so excited. They were so grateful for the opportunity. And I thought it was so cool how we had 3 girls from our team make All-State. And so I knew that I really wanted to be able to try and achieve that because I think it's just such a cool accomplishment. And it was hard work. It was a lot of fun to try and reach that level. And yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, it gives you something to work for, especially being on a team. It's always good to have a goal. Can you walk us through the process of qualifying for the All-State team? Yeah,
so for cheerleading, it's kind of different because other sports, we don't have games, so there's no statistics. So for cheerleading, you send in a tryout video essentially, and so they send out material to all of the Connecticut high school teams, and so everyone learns the same material for All-State, and usually a college does it, UConn cheer team teaches it and sends out the videos, and so you put it together, and so there's a dance, a cheer, you show off any tumbling and flips, and then jumps, and so you put it all together, and then you get judged on scores of, I think it's a 5 to 10.
Awesome.
The score sheet.
Cool. Okay. So aside from the video and all that prep, what kind of training regimen did you follow to prepare for this tryout? Yeah,
so luckily they send out the material pretty early in December, and then the videos due early February. So from the start that I get the material, I try to practice a little bit each day to really get it muscle memory and to be able to make sure I don't mess up. And then focusing on jumps, that's a big part of the score sheet. So stretching every day and working on jumps every day. Our coach loves to have us focus on that.
Yeah.
And just practicing tumbling, trying to learn new flips and stuff is a lot of fun.
Yeah. What is one of your favorite flips that you can do?
My favorite one is doing a round off tuck because it's really quick and you can just get a lot of power, so you can do a high backflip. So
yeah.
It's fun.
Cool. Okay, can you tell us a little bit about balancing academic responsibilities with cheerleading?
So our winter season is definitely more strict and competitive. So we have practices 5 days a week. And so freshman year, I really struggled with kind of balancing that. But so I just learned that it's all about time management. I had to try and focus on doing my work right when I get home, or just really using my time in school to try and get all my work done so I can just go to practice and then focus on other things when I get home.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. So balancing all of your responsibilities is important to you. Can you tell us a little bit about what motivates you to keep pushing yourself in cheerleading, especially on the tough days?
Yeah. So tough days obviously will happen. And so I just try and focus on the end goal, because with cheerleading you get such limited opportunities to show what you do because we only have 4 competitions. It's a 2-minute routine, and so we really have to give it our all in those 2 minutes. So I just like to think about the joy that we get from going on the mat and competing.
Yeah.
And, the feeling when you get off after, it's the best.
Yeah. So for listeners who don't know, cheerleading is not just one season sport. So can you tell us a little bit about what you guys do in the fall, and then versus the winter, and then what spring looks like for you guys?
Yeah. So in the fall, it's mainly game days. And so we're cheering for football every Friday night, which is a lot of fun. And then the winter season, we do game days for basketball too. So we go to the basketball games along with preparing for our competitions, which usually start around end of January and then go through March.
Okay.
Not May.
And then spring you're off, and then summer is prep for the fall season. Okay. Can you share any particular moments or achievements in your cheerleading career that have been especially motivating for you?
I think one of my favorites from sophomore year, we had a really great season and we came runners up in states. And so that was a really big accomplishment. We had kind of been like hoping for that and trying to accomplish that all season because the top 3 go to the regional competition in Worcester, Massachusetts, which we were really excited about and we're really hoping we could get there because I don't think the Cromwell cheer team has gotten top 3, I think in like 12 years since then. So we were really trying to get there.
Wow, that's amazing. Can you tell us about your biggest supporter or mentor through cheerleading?
Yeah, so she graduated last year, Bridget Russ. She was a flyer like me, and so ever since like the beginning of my freshman year, she like taught me how to fly, and like she was a really great support system to lean on like those tougher days when like practice was rough or coach was in a bad mood, and she could always put me in a better spirit.
Yeah. Have you faced any specific challenges or setbacks along the way, and how did you overcome them? And this could be like injuries or just like mental blocks.
Yeah, so mental blocks is definitely a big one because some of like as we get to like the higher level and accomplish more achievements, the skills get more advanced, and so our coach likes to really push us because she knows we can do it, but it can definitely be scary because you have to put a lot of trust in cheerleading into like the people that are catching you and like putting you in the air, and like it's like accidents happen all the time, so like you fall and something like that can like kind of set you back a little bit. It just makes you more scared, but you have to like push through it.
Yeah. How much do you rely on your teammates physically, obviously, because you're a flyer, but also like mentally?
Yeah, I would say definitely a lot. Like that was one of the biggest things too, just like being able to like sit with the team and being able to bond with the team. Since we're like a pretty smaller team, we're all very close, and so that really helps because we have so much trust in each other. So that really helped us like all build really close relationships, and it lets us push through that because we do have kind of a long season from August to March. So we get each other through.
Yeah. Can you tell us about any strategies that you have to stay focused and perform your best during competitions?
Yeah. So those 2 minutes, they go by so fast. And so like one of the biggest things, just I try not to like look out into the crowd of people because like there's like family members and everything that comes to watch, and then the judges table, and so our coach always reminds like don't look in the judges table, don't look in their eyes, you try and like above like the wall, and then you honestly like kind of like black out for those 2 minutes and 30 seconds because you're just like focused on exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, you're working so hard for those 2 minutes. Can you tell us about any particular techniques or drills that you find to be the most effective in improving your cheerleading skills?
Yeah, I think we do a lot of drills for jumps, so it's good stretching routine is definitely a big one, and then just like repetition and just practicing it. Like our coach will have us do, it's like sets of 10, and like we do repeat it 5 times just to like really like work on that flexibility and that muscle memory. Yeah.
So aside from Bridget, who's your mentor, do you have any cheerleaders or athletes that you look up to draw inspiration from?
I love looking at like college cheer teams, and I love like watching their routines. Like I'm not like any specific ones I can think of.
Yeah.
But I just love like watching them and trying to like, I always like to tell our coach, I'm like, look how cool his routine is. Like, I wonder if we could like get to that.
For inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So looking back, what do you think has been the most important factor in your guys' success?
I definitely think it's just having to like push through and like use each other to like for support. Like, so we like our coach always like emphasized that we have to be close. Like we try not to have like any drama on the team.
Yeah.
And like that we should just like try and like stay close, because if like for such a long season, if we're not getting along, it's harder to keep going. So it's good that we have like good relationships and friendships that push us through and help us.
Totally. What advice would you give to younger cheerleaders who aspire to reach all-state level?
I think one of the biggest things is just always be practicing something, like even in the off seasons, because flexibility is such a big part of cheerleading. So that's something that you like consistently have to work on. And work on like tumbling if you can. Like doing flips is super fun, and like it can be really scary, but that's a big part of like the all-state score sheet.
Yeah.
And so just like getting yourself to like teach yourself new things and don't be afraid to try them.
Yeah, that's great advice. As you are going into your senior season, do you have any goals for cheerleading and then beyond high school, and how do you plan to achieve them?
So yeah, I'm really excited for my last season, and we're trying to accomplish kind of like the same like top 3 as we can, because we had such a good season last year, and so we want to come back and show that we can do it again.
Yeah.
And we really want to win Shorelines again, because we did it 2 years in a row, and then we didn't compete this year, but so we want to achieve that for another time.
That's great. I'll be following. Congratulations on All-State. Is there any final thoughts for our listeners that you want to share?
Kind of just like as I've been thinking of like my senior season coming up, but like really just like trying to like enjoy every season, just like thinking about like, so really just like cherish those moments. And because like the seasons go by so fast, like I can't believe it's already been like 3 years.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Maya Tomczyk, congrats on All-State. And thank you for joining us on this episode of Champion Chronicles.
Thank you so much for having me.